If you're a woman who wants to become more magnetic, today's episode is for you. Welcome back to the Ghislain Maiden podcast, the home of erotic leadership, where your turn on is the pathway to your power and your frequency, the key to unlock your millions. I'm Ghislain, and together we'll activate your eroticism so you can live your one turned on life unapologetically and undeniably. What does it mean to be an erotic woman? So many women come to me who want to be more magnetic, who want to be more seen, more fully expressed. And yet, the thing that is stopping them from their full expression is the parts of themselves that they've suppressed and they've avoided. You see, an erotic woman is far beyond who you are in the bedroom, although that is an amazing part of eroticism. But it's really one part of it, because an erotic woman is how you show up in the world. It's a way of being, a way that you move through life, and it is pure magnetism. And the thing that is blocking 90% of women from that magnetism is an inability to honor the truth of their human experience, because it feels too much, because it feels too painful, because you've been told that your needs don't really matter, and so you self-sacrifice. All of those tiny little moments and tiny little needs, pretending that they don't really matter. And guess what? You didn't lose yourself overnight. You lost yourself in every tiny moment that you betrayed your needs and your desires, because over time, those tiny moments compounded until they completely eroded who you are, what you desire, and what you need. And this is why so many women wake up and feel like they've lost themselves, because you have. And it didn't happen overnight. It happened in every single moment that you betrayed yourself, your needs, and your desires, that your desires were frivolous. And then you wonder why you feel dead as a fucking doormat? Well, if you spent a lifetime pretending that your needs don't matter. So of course, if you haven't watered yourself, you're not going to feel alive. You're not going to feel like the woman who is magnetic. Because eroticism really goes far beyond your sexuality, your pleasure, although it's one of my favorite parts of it. It is who you are and how you show up in the world. It is a woman who is deeply in honor and devotion, I would even say in deep reverence to her life experience, to the truth of the life experience. And so why is the truth of the life experience so important? Because as women, you're constantly scanning for approval, downplaying what you really fucking want, need, and desire, and suppressing yourself. And so you're not honoring the truth of the moment. And the key for women to unlock more magnetism, more sensuality in the body, is through meeting the parts of yourself that you've suppressed, meeting your pain, because your pain is actually deeply erotic if you allow it to be. But you've spent a lifetime avoiding your shame, your grief, your anger, downplaying. Doesn't really matter. Oh, I don't want to be too much. I don't want to make a fuss. Oh, my needs don't matter. I've got all this list of other things that come first. And every time you do that, you block yourself from the magnetism that you desire. You see, an erotically alive woman moves apart in the world from a place of pure magnetism. Now, I went to Sydney for an appointment a few weeks ago, and when I booked my hotel room, I said, I'd really like this room to be upgraded. I'd love a bath. I'd love a massive window. and I'd love some free little perks. And I let it go. I got to the hotel, and as soon as I arrived, they said, "Oh, we've upgraded your room for you." I was like, "Oh, sweet, thanks." Now, I didn't know what this upgrade entailed, but I opened the door, and there was the bath that I desired. There was the big window that I desired, and an amazing complimentary bath bomb from the hotel. Now, that's a magnetic woman. But I tap into this magneticness because I'm unapologetically unafraid to meet the parts of myself that are painful. You see, because as long as you're avoiding your grief, your shame, your pain, as long as you're sexually suppressing yourself, you're actually carrying the weight of that with you into every experience, into every meeting, every interaction. And you cannot be a woman who is deeply in her body, who is deeply sensual and seductive when you're avoiding yourself. And it's why so many women fundamentally don't trust themselves, or they feel like they've lost themselves, because there is an inability to sit with themselves in complete not judgment, but devotion to the truth, because it really requires you to meet yourself in your most painful places without trying to downplay it, without trying to minimize it, without trying to avoid it. And when you do that, what you actually allow yourself to tap into on the other side of that is freedom. It's where you release tension in the body, because when you're avoiding something, your body holds on to it. Now, I can tell how much sensuality and magnetism is in a woman's body just by looking at her. She doesn't need to speak, because it's in the way that a woman carries herself. Your sensuality is carried in the body. And I don't really care what you say about how deeply magnetic you think you are. It's all in your body. You cannot hide it. It's why so many women, they get up on stage and I see them and their shoulders are up here and the bodies are tight and tense, because they're carrying the tension. They're carrying the stress. Whereas a magnetic woman, she knows that her body is an art form of seduction. It is her greatest tool to influence. You see, seduction has been given a bad name, like it's bad. No, you cannot seduce. Fuck it off, you can seduce. I want you to turn your whole life on. Why can't you seduce yourself? Seduction does not have to be bad. It is a deeply erotic act. And your sensuality and your seduction, your magnetism, it all lives in the body. So as long as you're craving more magnetism and you're looking in the mind, or you're looking to ascend the body, you will never actually become the seductive, the magnetic woman that you desire, because your magnetism lives in your body, in your ability to honor the truth of the moment. And so that means you got to meet your pain. You got to meet your shame in deep devotion and reverence to it, because it's from there that you free yourself. And pain is actually deeply erotic. On the other side of it can be the most ecstatic pleasure if you allow it to be. If you're not really connected to your vulva, to your sense of turn on, to your ability to actually enjoy pleasure, eroticism, without it being a performance for somebody else. Because so many women are stuck in this mechanical version of eroticism, of pleasure, of seduction. And it's all about the pleasure of another and the performance for their partner, to please their partner. Hello, you little good girl conditioning coming in. Got to be a good lover so that I turn my partner on, that you become so disconnected from what actually turns you on. And see, this is where an erotically alive woman, a magnetic woman, knows that she gets to flip the script. Knows that Her experience is about her turn on, her pleasure. And the more you can turn yourself on, the more pleasure you can experience. It's really an art form. And you can experience pleasure in each and every moment. It is not simply your sexuality or your sexual relationships. You can have pleasure when you brush your hair. You can have pleasure when you eat and enjoy the beautiful textures that are available to you. You can have pleasure when you feel the warmth of a hot cup of tea in your hands, or your chai or your coffee. You see, each moment, it has pleasure available to it if you are present with the truth of the moment and allow yourself to really experience life. Because life is there to be experienced. And so if you're a woman who's craving more magnetism, who wants to be more expressed, more seen, who's ready to stop shrinking herself, this is the work that we do in Erotic Mastery. We break you through a powerful framework where we break free of the good girl conditioning that's stopping you from being more magnetic. Then we start to reclaim your sensuality, your sexuality, what turns you on. And then we empower you to radiate, to become that fully expressed, confident, empowered woman who is fully magnetic. So if you're ready to become truly magnetic, book your call